Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Pharma Focus. I hope you guys are doing really great. And I'm back with another video which is regarding the adverse event reporting. So the purpose of making this video is to make general public aware about how adverse events are reported, and for anyone who is not aware about how adverse events are reported, how they are collected, processed, and how they are taken care of once you report them. So that is the purpose of this video. Also, I would like to highlight here that this is going to be a kind of very knowledgeable thing for everyone who is trying to pursue a career in drug safety. So keep watching till the end, and yeah, let's begin with it. But before that, let's first discuss that what comes to your mind when someone says an adverse event and why you think that you should report an adverse event. Because being a PV professional, I would just say that every single report that any person is reporting, it matters. So when you report an adverse event, whether you are a patient, HCP, or a caregiver, then you're not just filling out a form. You are playing a major role in protecting lives. You are helping the pharmaceutical companies improving their medicines, improving the treatments, and thereby you are supporting science somehow. And one small report from your end, it can make a big difference. It can be a powerful evidence that drives any kind of change. So it is always suggested that if in case you notice anything unusual reaction after medication, then don't ignore it, just report it, because when we talk about drug safety, then it starts with you. So all right, so let's talk about now how the adverse event reporting is done. So as you can see on my screen, this is Sun Pharma website, and this is just for the example purposes. There's nothing linked to Sun Pharma. So yeah, let's start with it. So adverse event reporting section. So let's look at the form first. So as you can see on my screen already, that the first section is the name of the Sun Pharma drug. So for example, I'm filling out this form just for the example sake here. So let's say that it is the XYZ drug. And now we need to check for the nature of the event, which is adverse event, side effect, pregnancy, lactation, overdose, lack of efficacy, misuse, abuse, product complaint. So what we're talking about here is it can be any kind of nature of the event that you are reporting here. But if in general we talk about the adverse event or a side effect which is normal, then we need to check in here on the first section. However, if it is a pregnancy or a lactation case wherein we have exposure or during pregnancy cases primarily, so we need to select for the second option. Apart from that, there are some special cases like the overdose, the lack of efficacy, misuse, and abuse. And if I talk about the last section, then it is the product complaint, which refers to any kind of complaint related to a drug or a health product, which is related to its identity, its quality, safety, or effectiveness. And it is often related to the issues like packaging, labeling, or any kind of contamination. So you need to mark this section in those cases. So let's suppose I'm selecting here adverse event or side effect. So the next section is the name or the initials. So you can put your complete name here. And if you're not willing to put in your complete initials here, then put in your complete name here, then you can only put in the initials if you're concerned about your privacy. For example, I have entered here BK. Then apart from that, everyone is aware about their sex, male, female or other. You need to select it here. Then we have the age or the age group section. So for example, you're reporting for any kind of on the behalf of any other person and you're not aware about their age, then you can simply put in their age group here in those cases. And apart from that, if you're aware, then maybe let's, for example, I am capturing here 23. All right, so next section is the event description section. So here you need to list the description of event, of the adverse event or the side effect that you're experiencing, or any other experience such as lack of effect or medication error. So this can be any, if you're aware about these terms, the lack of effect, the medication error, like how you define them, how you categorize them. If you are an HCP who is trying to fill out the form, then I'm sure you must be aware about the same. But if you're someone who is not aware about them, you can normally describe your adverse event in those cases. So let's say, for example, I am taking drug XYZ and experiencing nausea, headache and vertigo. So let's say I just captured here 3 adverse events that should not be there after consuming the medicine. So I'm just capturing it here in a layman term. So this way you can give the description of adverse event. The next section is the current status or the outcome at the time of this report. So this can be complete recovery, ongoing, recovering, unknown or died. And if in case there is any other outcome, then you can just specify it here. For example, let's say that the headache and the vertigo is completely recovered but nausea is still ongoing, then you can select for this option and you can just capture the details here. But for now, let's say I am capturing it as complete recovery. Alright, so this is the example of the drug use detail. For example, I have selected the suspect drug as XYZ, and then for the indication for what purpose I am taking that drug, it is the high blood pressure. Then we need to capture the dosage, unit and the frequency. So dosage here is 200, the unit is the mg, and frequency is how frequently you have been prescribed for the drug or you are taking that drug is going to be the frequency. And then we have the route option, where route of administration is if you're taking a tablet, for example, it is going to be oral. So I've captured oral here for your reference. Then next up we have the treatment dates, in which month the treatment was started. If you remember that, or the day you remember that, then you can select it here. And then the end date of the treatment, if you have stopped taking that medication, or else you can just leave it blank. Then next up we have the lot or the batch number. So this is something which is listed on the medication that is prescribed to you. For example, you are taking some ABC drug, you need to check for the batch or the lot number which is listed on that, and you need to enter that here. Apart from that, we have the expiry date listed on them, so we need to capture that in this section. The next section is the relevant medical history, if it is available. So for example, let's say that the person is suffering from any kind of allergy, so you need to capture it here, or you can just capture the relevant medical history here. That's it, if you remember and if it is available. Then we have the reporter information, wherein you can put in your full name, so you can capture it. Then we have the street address, the city, the postal code, country, email, phone number, and relationship with the patient. So this section is really important if you are capturing it on the, if you're sending the form on the behalf of any other person, then you need to capture it here. Apart from that, are you also a patient? So for example, the person you're reporting for is somebody who is experiencing that adverse effect, um, that is going to be the relationship with patient section. And if you are also a patient, then you need to select from the yes or no from this section. Then next is this declaration, and you need to submit this form after that. Alright, so in the end, you can see if you would like to send us the information by post, then you can download the form and mail to this mailing address. And the toll-free number is this. And this is the email address that you can use to report the adverse effects as well. So if more information specific to your country is required, then you can navigate to the Worldwide tab available on the website. So I'm telling you all this is in regard to how you will be reporting an adverse event, right? So actually for most of the pharmaceutical companies, there is a section of adverse event reporting, and you can just go there and you can report your adverse event very easily there. Apart from that, if you prefer any of these methods and they are available on the website, you can follow those methods as well. And next up, let's take an example of another pharmaceutical company. So this is AstraZeneca. So reporting side effects, you are encouraged to report the side effects of AstraZeneca prescription drugs here, or you may also report the side effects by calling this number, or if you prefer, report the side effects to FDA or call this. So these are the various methods that are listed here on the website of AstraZeneca, where you can report for the side effects. So let's look at this one. Alright, so this form is loading. Okay, so let's see, it has tracked my location as Canada already, and I'm filling up the language as English. Alright, so generally the forms are very similar to each other, what we saw on the very first one for the Sun Pharma. But there may be some fields that may be extra or that may not be present in the other forms, but it is really easy to fill out. So what can we help you with is if you want to report an adverse event, request medical information, or report a product quality issue, so you can select any of these, and depending on that, it will take you to that form. So let's say I'm selecting here request medical information and I am a HCP. Then we need to go to the next section. Alright, so it will make you go to the other questions as well. So I'm not continuing with this section since I'm not reporting any adverse event. I'm just trying to show you guys a sample of how reporting is done. Alright, so let's head to a next side, which is the Novartis. So likewise, as I said, for every pharmaceutical company there is an individual way of reporting for the side effects. And apart from that, if you are not aware of what company drug it is, then you can maybe report it to your local regulatory authority as well. So it entirely depends on you. It is a method of voluntary reporting after all, and you can do it the way you like. So we have report side effects section again. So they have listed what is side effect, why report side effect. So as I said, it is to ensure the safety of our products, our patients, and it is the reporting responsibilities to health authorities which require that we provide information on side effects with our products, even if in cases where a relationship between the product and effect is not established. So that is really important. So if I look at this, they have given an option of alternative as as we just saw in the previous one, that we need to report the side effect electronically. You can email it to Novartis Drug Safety Responsible Person, and this is the format. Then we can do it by selecting our particular location here. Apart from that, let's click on this one. You are now leaving the website. All right, so this will make you head to another section, which is welcome to Novartis Pharmacovigilance intake. So that is how intake happens in cases where you are reporting from the pharmaceutical websites company. So what happens next is, when a case is received, that case is registered, it is intaken into the PV system of that particular pharmaceutical company, and after that the process is followed. So for some pharmaceutical companies, they have their own individual PV departments, but for some they rely on the contract research organizations or the CROs, which work on the client basis for them, and they are handling the PV responsibilities for them. So that's how reports are collected and collated and then processed on, and then these reports merged together, they are submitted to the regulatory authorities as ICSRs, and then you have the other versions of aggregate reports and periodic reports, any kind of. So that's how everything works. I think this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned something from this video. And for practice purposes, I would recommend you to, just Google something, any pharmaceutical company, and just type it down, the pharmaceutical company along with the adverse event reporting, and just look at the form and just look at how that process is done. And yeah, in the end, I would just say one thing: if you're experiencing any kind of adverse event, if you think that the side effect should be reported, then you must report it. You must head to the company website, or you can maybe report it to the healthcare professional who has prescribed you that drug, to make the reporting effective, to make the side effects bring to a limelight, and so that it can be a good thing to ensure the drug safety, efficacy, and be a part of PV. So yeah, all right. Stay tuned for more such videos. Do not share to subscribe, follow, and like my video. So stay tuned, stay updated, keep learning. Thank you.